Okay, so what if I told you that you could unlock someone's full potential, or maybe even your own, just by having a single, structured conversation? Sounds almost too easy, right? Well, today we're going to break down a tool called the GROW model. It's an incredibly simple framework that does, well, exactly that.
All right, let's dive in. First up, the performance puzzle. When we think about improving performance, it often feels complicated, like we're searching for some secret formula. But what if it's not magic at all? What if it's just a simple puzzle we need to solve?
So at the heart of this whole thing is this really powerful little equation. It comes from something called the inner game philosophy, and it goes like this. Performance equals potential minus interference. Think about that for a second. It's not about adding more skills or more knowledge. It's about taking away the stuff that gets in the way. The self-doubt, the distractions, all that mental clutter. The amazing part is the potential, it's already there. The real job is just to clear out the interference.
Okay, so that's the million-dollar question, right? If the key is just to get rid of all that interference, well, how on earth do you actually do that? How do you quiet that noise so that your real potential can finally come through?
Well, the answer came from a place you might not expect. It wasn't dreamed up in some fancy business school or corporate strategy session. Nope, it actually came from the world of sports.
And that answer is a beautifully simple conversational framework called the GROW model. This is the tool. It's a way of talking to someone, or even yourself, that's literally designed to cut through the noise, minimize that interference, and let potential do its thing. It's the key to solving that performance puzzle we were just talking about.
And it's got a pretty cool backstory. The whole idea kicked off back in the early 80s, really inspired by Tim Galway's inner game stuff, a lot of which came from coaching tennis players, believe it or not. Then, guys like Sir John Whitmore and Graham Alexander took that spark and built it into a formal model. They basically took what was working on the sports field and brought it into the office. And now, it's pretty much one of the most famous and effective coaching models in the entire world. All right, let's get into the nuts and bolts, the 4 simple steps. So what is this thing really? At its core, it's just 4 super simple logical steps. Let's break them down one by one. So the acronym itself, GROW, is your roadmap. It's so easy to remember. You've got G for goal, R for reality, O for options, and W for will. Each step just flows right into the next, and what you end up with is a conversation that's incredibly focused and actually gets somewhere. First up, G is for goal. This is all about the destination. The simple question is, where are you trying to get to? And we're not talking about some fuzzy, vague idea here. We need a crystal clear, specific outcome. I mean, you can't plug a destination into your GPS if you don't know the address, right? Same idea. Okay, next up is R for reality. This part is crucial, and it's all about brutal, non-judgmental honesty. The question is simply, what is your current situation? Like, what's really going on right now? No sugarcoating. Because if the goal is your destination, reality is that little blue dot on the map that says you are here. You got to know where you're starting from.
So once you know your starting point, your reality and your destination, your goal, it's time for options. This is the fun part. It's pure brainstorming. The question is, what are your options for moving forward? And the key here is to just generate a ton of ideas on how to get from point R to point G. Seriously, no idea is a bad idea at this stage. Just pure, wide-open possibility. And finally, we get to W, which stands for will. Or sometimes you'll hear it as way forward. This is the most important step because it's where all those great ideas turn into actual action. Notice the question isn't what could you do? It's what will you do? It's all about getting a firm commitment on that very next step. And when you go through this sequence, something really cool happens. It just naturally raises a person's awareness of their own situation. It makes them take responsibility because they're the ones coming up with the answers. And of course, it leads to real, concrete action. It's a simple process, but man, the results are powerful. Okay, but here's where we go a little deeper. Because to really get the magic of the GROW model, you have to see that it's more than just a 4-letter acronym. It's a whole shift in mindset. Sir John Whitmore, one of the creators, once said something that'll really make you think. He said, even dictators can use GROW. Wild, right? So what on earth did he mean by that? Well, he was pointing out that you can go through the motions, you can ask the 4 questions, but if your intention isn't right, if you're just trying to manipulate someone, you've missed the entire point.
See, the real power of GROW isn't in the questions themselves, but in the philosophy behind them. It's a total shift from telling people what to do to helping them think for themselves. It's about being genuinely curious and believing that deep down the other person already has the answers. Your job isn't to give them the answers, it's just to help them uncover them.
And this slide just lays it out so clearly. It's a huge paradigm shift. On one side, you've got that old school command and control style, which is all about telling people what to do, focusing on your own authority, and just managing tasks. But on the other side, you have this coaching leadership style. This is about helping people think for themselves, giving them autonomy, and this is the big one, actually developing their potential for the long run. And let's be real, this coaching approach isn't just some nice, fluffy, feel-good thing anymore. We live in what people call a VUCA world. It's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Things are changing so fast that no single leader can possibly have all the answers. So helping your people think for themselves, it's not just a good idea, it's absolutely essential for survival.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. It's your turn to grow. How can you actually start using this thing like today?
When you boil it all down, it really is just 4 simple questions. That's it. But when you ask them with real curiosity, you can unlock so much potential. Just remember, what's your goal? What's your reality? What are your options? And what will you do? That's the whole playbook.
So I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. What's one thing, just one thing, in your work or your life right now that you could use this for? Big or small, doesn't matter. What's the first goal you're going to apply this simple framework to? Give it a shot. You might be surprised at what you uncover.